study the craft. And a lot of things that we think we can't do or we're not allowed to do, if you read the fine print, you could do it. That's what they do. They read the fine print. You just gotta study. The best team is the most prepared team. Look at life like you look at sports. The one that is the most disciplined, has the best workout, most of the time, the people that are successful aren't the best at what they do. They just are the best at working the hardest at what they do. The discipline. But if you're not doing something you love, you ain't gonna wanna do it. So you have to find what you love, something you would do for free, and then that's what you do every day, all day. Get paid for doing something you would do for free.
There ain't no age of success. You know what I'm saying? And the older I get, I'd rather have it a little bit older than young, because when you're young, you blow through shit, you don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? You might burn bridges, you might burn money. But like I said, I'm at a time, and you'll see it too, but like, when it rains, it pours, my nigga. Like, when it comes, it's gonna come when you need it, when you prepare for it. And when it's time, just, like I said, there's no age of success, but opportunities don't come every time. So just look at it like that. That's how I look at it. Like, I don't never get like in that whole caught up, oh, he younger than me and he doing better than me, because I'm pretty sure there's niggas that looking at me that's like, he younger than me, he doing better than me. But when you get caught up in that thinking and that rat race shit, that's when you start losing your mojo, and that's when you start paying attention. You gotta look at this shit with blinders and just tunnel vision and just focus on you.
Man, I be juggling. You know what I'm saying? I juggle a lot. I play a lot of positions. You know what I mean? So, my mentality when I do start to be like, damn, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward what the vision look like, and that's like greatness. That's, on multiple levels. That's the vision that I'm working toward. So I'm like, I just think about that. Like, this shit ain't supposed to feel, comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to be a burden to a degree. And you gotta, wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it. And you catch some wisdom off of that. You know what I mean?
Being yourself is always gonna make you stand out before anybody else. So following in other people's footsteps, I wouldn't. But as far as like, I don't know, being inspired by people's shit, that's cool. And, if you're inspired by something, you can always use that in your craft, but just not too much. Feel me? Like, but always build it, because doing that shit, you'll build on your own sound, Yeah. Like, and building on your own sound is always great. So, I don't know. I would just really just be on my own time, be myself, and show my craft and see if people fucking with it, honestly. And staying in my own lane and minding my own business and fucking with whoever fuck with me. Feel me?
Right.
Staying out the way too.
Right.
The marathon is just about seeing long term, seeing a vision, understanding that nothing really worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen. Laying a brick every day instead of trying to build a brick wall. Just lay a brick every day. Eventually you look up, you're gonna have a brick wall.
Cause this shit go up and down all the time. I have moments to this day where I be depressed or I be feeling like my shit ain't good enough. But all it takes is that one phone call or that one move to make everything okay. So you gotta really live in the moment and really appreciate them down times, because trouble don't last. God got a plan for all of us, and that's how I really look at it. Anytime and me and my partners call it the Lion's Den. I don't know if you heard about the story about Daniel in the Lion's Den when he got, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we look at it. Like, anytime I go through some form of adversity, I really look at it as a blessing, because that just means that the next level I prayed for is on its way. God is testing me and building me up for what I want next, you know what I'm saying?
So, and don't be too cool to be passionate about your work. People be too cool to really be as passionate as they need to be to really get to where they need to go. For real. Absolutely. I be seeing a lot of that in artists. They be trying to follow in other people's footsteps and stuff, and not like, I don't know, they get steered off. They blow up and they get steered off, getting caught up, trying to hold tight on what they got. But it's really like, you got it. You just got to keep doing you.
Right.
Tremendously and building on this shit. You got to build your legacy. You got to remember this shit really, like, through the ins and outs. You got to remember the only mark you can leave on here is anything you really put physically in the world. Like, cause once you gone, the only thing that you gonna have there is a tombstone. You feel me?
I just believed in the plan on paper, and just, you know, amongst the team, it always felt like it could work. It was a good plan, and that to be empowered the way we wanted to be empowered, to get to the level that we want to get to, that it was this route. And it seemed like you had to be comfortable being counted out at times, because if you was uncomfortable with that, that will put pressure on you to make decisions that might be premature, might work against you in the long run. That's why I call my whole shit the marathon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think it was a lot of pressure to like take the elevator or jump on somebody else's back or
ride somebody else's wave.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that worked for a moment, but the respect is what keep you in the game. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And the distinguishing yourself through how you get there, you know, is what people really, really at the end of the day say, that I know his character from demonstration. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was what was most important. And whatever we could accomplish within that boundary, that's what we wanted. We didn't want nothing else outside of that until we was, you know, in a position to get that on our own and in our own way. And so every time we make a step forward or make progress, it count for that much more because we know how we got here. We know we kept it pure.
For sure.
You want to be as skilled as you can be, and you want to work as hard as you can work, and you want to make the golden rule to just tell the truth as best you can. And so that would be my advice, is to just outwork last year's version of yourself. I wouldn't even want to make it about other people and say outwork your competition. Just work harder than you did last year. Work harder than you did yesterday. Work harder than you did the hour before right now, you know, and put more pressure on yourself to perform and you know, to push yourself.